everybody, so it's time to talk about Aliens vs. Predator 2 Requiem. I got the double feature, both of them, unrated. I watched the unrated version of this, so if I say anything in this review and you're like, wait, I don't remember that, maybe it's because I watched the unrated version and I saw something different, so just letting you know that right now. I went into this with very low expectations. This has 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. I did not recognize the directors, but apparently they're effects artists and they worked on big films like Titanic. And there's a Titanic reference in here, so that makes sense. But I know these directors. I'm not familiar with their work. I did recognize the cinematographer, though, Daniel Pearl. He did the cinematography for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the remake and the Friday the 13th remake. Those have great cinematography. I love the way the remake of Texas Chainsaw looks. I like the way the remake of Friday the 13th looks. This guy's been doing it for decades. He knows what he's doing. But not in this one. Like, this one has pretty bad lighting. But I actually like the way this movie looks in other parts. But yeah, it's here. There's some scenes where I feel like the cinematography looks great in this movie. And there's a lot of it where it's like, I can't see shit. So, but we'll talk about it later on. But I didn't really know who the directors were. I wasn't familiar with this movie all that much. I've seen this movie before in 2007 when it came out. It's been like 12 years, and my only memory of this movie, funny, I think it was Christmas night, so I had dinner, and I must have ate something bad, because I was at the theater watching this movie, and I started like throwing up everywhere. I threw up in the popcorn bag. Me and my dad just left, and I never caught the end of this movie. So it was like watching it for the first time. So this was an interesting watch. Plot synopsis, very quick. This takes place right after the events of part 1. The alien is in the Predator ship. It crashes on Earth, and a Predator is sent to Earth to recover any evidence of like alien life on there. They got this alien. It's one Predator goes to Earth and has to dispose of all the aliens, get rid of them, get rid of any evidence that the Predators were there or aliens. And meanwhile, this small Colorado town is being terrorized by aliens, and they just have to survive. Very basic plot, not much to it. So yeah, I actually really dug this movie. I went into it expecting it to suck. Like I said, it has a very low Rotten Tomato score. Everybody shits on it. I had commenters on my last video saying like, yeah, this one's not that good. It's worse than Aliens vs. Predator. It's poorly lit. You can't even see the gore. I disagree. This one was very much rated R. It has plenty of gore, and for the most part, I could see all of it. And I don't know if that's because I got like a Blu-ray cleanup on this disc, and it just looks better. My TV's big, but I could see it. There are some moments where it's too dark, but man, this one was way better than the first AVP, and I will explain why in this week's Horror Franchise Wednesday. Alright, so before I get into why this movie's better than the first AVP, let me go into my negatives and the story. The story doesn't have much focus on characters. It's just more focused on the Predator trying to get rid of all the evidence. He just keeps going and like playing this cat and mouse game with the aliens, chasing them all over town and disposing of evidence here, melting all these body parts and carcasses and whatnot, aliens. And then there's like all these different characters. There's like 5 different groups of characters. You got the mom who came home from Iraq with a son and with a daughter and husband. You got this group over here, that group, this guy. That's like, there's so many people and they're trying to juggle them all around. They all meet towards the end somehow coincidentally, and now they're in a gun store and at the hospital. And the characters are just not interesting at all. There's no weight to any of their deaths. There's no impact. There's hardly any emotion to the film at all. When people die, I just laugh, and I feel like I'm not supposed to, because this character is looking like he's upset for 2 seconds, and then it's like it never happened. Like, this guy just lost his girlfriend. This little 8-year-old just lost her fucking father, and she never sheds a single tear. They just run away. And it's like, there's no emotion, there's no impact, there's no weight to anything. It's just like, all right, they're running away, blah, blah, blah. Like, they should have focused more on the characters, and I feel like it would have benefited the movie if they just would have trimmed a few characters out of the film completely. Like, Get rid of these people, focus more on these people, make me give a shit about these people succeeding in leaving town. Because that's what the movie's about. It's just about these characters having to escape the town. And it fails. It completely fails with the characters. It completely fails to make an interesting story where I give a shit about anybody, just like the first movie. So, 2 in a row where all the characters suck and the story is just very basic. Like, alright, predators on here in Colorado hunting aliens. These people have to just try to survive and run away. Nothing much to it. And the lighting, I think that's the biggest one. There's so many moments, especially towards the end, where like someone's dying and they're right on camera, like right in frame, like it's looking right at them, but they're like in the shadows and you can't see shit. Like, it's so fucking dark. So dark. And like every other scene, like they go in the sewers and they're back in the sewers, and now they're at the pool hall and the lights are off, and now they're outside, and oh look, the power grid got taken out, so this movie could be more dark. It's just ridiculous how dark it was. It was so pitch black. I felt like I needed to bring a flashlight into my living room and like shine on a TV to see what the fuck was happening. It was pretty bad. The lighting, it's like seriously just light it a little bit better. I want to see what's going on, you know. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I could see why people said it, you know, because even the critics at the time mentioned it. So it's not like, you know, just fans were complaining about it. Like, no, even movie critics, like, at the time were saying, like, man, this movie's lighting is terrible. And I totally agree. But because of how much I heard about it, I thought it was going to be, like, way worse. It wasn't that bad, but yeah, I noticed it. It could have been lit a little bit better. Some of the kills are off screen, but some of them, like, there's so many on screen cool shit going on that there's a couple of off screen ones that's like, why? It's like, it's not like you're trying to be tasteful, like, oh, we don't want to, you know, kill that character so nasty. It's like, dude, you killed a fucking kid, and we saw it. You know, you killed a guy in front of his daughter who's like 8 years old. Like, this movie's not trying to be safe or anything. So why is this chick dying off camera? It's like, you got a big budget. Don't make excuses. So it's just dumb. And there's just plot conveniences here and there. But yada, yada, yada. So that's a bit all I have to say about the negatives for the film. Just like little conveniences. Characters I don't care about. Story, blah, whatever. And the lighting, especially. Now, the things I love about this movie is that it's rated R. Take notes, the first AVP. This is how you do it. Alright? And this one has more of that Alien versus Predator action, and this one only has one Predator throughout the whole film. It's just one, not 3 hulky, bulky, fat motherfuckers in suits, like costumes that look fake. I mean, I liked the way they looked, but on second thought, it was also like they were wearing costumes. It wasn't like legit Predator outfits. I like the way the Predator in this one looks because it's way more closer to the first 2 movies, and that's the look I prefer. It's the original. And I like the hybrid Predator, and like it's like a Predator alien. I like that addition, something different. And I like the gore in this movie. Holy shit. You do get to see some of it. There's acid melting people's arms off, melting their faces, people being ripped in half, everything. There's so much gore, heads being blown off. That was the only thing I remembered from this movie was... It's funny how my memory... like, remembered it, like, I was halfway right in my memory. I was like, yeah, I remember some big fat guy getting his head blown off, but then when the scene popped up, I was like, he's not that fat. But yeah, just that guy at the gun store, him and his buddy, they both get their heads just blown clean off. It looks amazing. Like, it's like a mixture of CGI and practicals, or maybe it's all CGI, but it looks fucking great. And I bet that was why they lit it so poorly, was to try to hide some of the CGI in this film. Maybe that was a strategic thing. So I can understand why they might light it darkly. Like, you don't want to see the imperfections. Like Godzilla King of the Monsters. That movie was dark too. I didn't hear anybody bitch about that. You could hardly see the monster action. But I don't know, maybe I'm alone on that one. But yeah, this movie has a good pace, unlike the first AVP, where 2/3 of the movie I'm like, dude, get on with it. Where's the fucking action? These characters are not memorable or interesting. They don't carry the film. Just give me something to look at, laugh at, give me something interesting. In this movie, it has all these different characters, but they splice it with like Predator action, or he's like or this kid and father are getting killed. A kid dies in this movie, and you know how I always talk about it when movies don't ever have the balls to kill children. Like they have to be like 17 or older to die. In this one, we have pregnant women getting killed. It's heavily implied that a whole room of babies was killed, and then you got like an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old kid getting killed by his father. Alien chest bursting, awesome. This movie goes for it. It has so much awesome, bloody, grisly images in it, and it is a huge step up from AVP. I don't agree with whoever commented, Death Metalist, is that your name? Somebody in my comment section said that this one was just awful, so I went in with such low expectations, and maybe that's why I like it more. So thank you for putting my expectations so low that I was actually able to enjoy this. So yeah, I like the Predator and Alien designs. Once again, they look great. The aliens and the Predator this time, and he doesn't have that stupid lion growl. He sounds like a fucking predator. Sometimes he sounds like a dinosaur-ish, kind of. And the aliens, they kind of sound like Glenn from Bride of Chucky at the very end of Bride of Chucky when he's being born and he's screaming. That screech, I heard it in this movie, or maybe I'm just crazy. And yeah, I liked it. I like the score from Brian Tyler. It's like a mixture of the Alien franchise and Predator put together, kind of like in Freddy vs. Jason, you had like the theme song from both franchises playing at the same time when the New Line Cinema logo came on. Awesome stuff. So yeah, you got a better composer this time, you got better action sequences, you got a better grisly-ass, gore-filled, rated R film here. Alright, not PG-13 bullshit. So yeah, final thoughts. If you were hesitant to watch this because of a Rotten Tomatoes score, if you were hesitant because you heard about how badly lit the film is, yes, it's badly lit, but you can still see. Get the Blu-ray, alright? But it's not that bad. I mean, yeah, story, it's lacking. Characters, it's lacking. But if you're a gorehound or you like seeing bloody-ass kills from these predators and aliens, you're gonna get it. This movie was actually decent. I'm not going to recommend buying it because, like I said, the story and characters really weighed it down for me. It's not that great of a movie, but just, it was fresh air. It was a breath of fresh air from the fucking last one, which I did not like at all. So when it comes to AVP Requiem, this one is actually worth checking out at Redbox. The hottest chick award goes to Jessie, who shows her body off in her bikini, but doesn't show us her tits. That's a negative. And the clap reward for best scene goes to the hospital fight and shootout towards the end. Alright, time for the spoiler discussion. So it picks up right after AVP. You see the alien come right out of the Predator's chest, the spaceship crashes onto Earth in Colorado instead of Antarctica. I guess it took a while for the spaceship to, I don't know. But coincidentally, the spaceship that all these Predators are on has all these different aliens in a jar so that when the ship crashes, they can just all wreak havoc and go loose. Like, why were they collecting that shit like trophies and just keeping it in there? Like, I thought they just kept all the aliens down in Antarctica in that pyramid to go occasionally hunt for the little Hunger Games sessions or whatnot. It was just dumb. It's like, really coincidence. It's just whatever. And then this Jack Reacher guy, he shows up in town. I guess he got back from his Iraq tour. Like, I guess, like, his character's not fleshed out at all. Nobody is. Like, there's two people in this movie who supposedly got back from a war, and they hardly utilize those skills. Like, towards the end, they pick up a gun, but anybody can pick up a gun and shoot at these aliens. So it's just, like, not necessary. It's like, who gives a shit? Oh, like, so what? Oh, she knows how to drive the big old ATV or whatever it's called. And it's like his character is so fucking one note throughout the whole movie. Everything he says, every situation, I never hear like a drop in his tone, his voice. It's just the same level the whole time. And yeah, his character was very dull. I didn't care about him. He just kind of looked like Jack Reacher. So that's what I called him in my head. It's like, Jack Reacher, look who's back. And then we got the typical dog fetching a limb cliche. In horror movies, the dog always fetches a body part, and it's usually comical or scary. Mainly comical. In this one, we got the same thing going on. This father and son, they bump into the spaceship, and the alien comes out, kills the dad. Acid hits his arm falls off, great stuff. Kid, he's not safe because he's a kid. He gets killed, wakes up, alien busts right out of his fucking chest, and we see it. All in frame. It's not like it cuts away to like a dummy chest or anything. We see the kid's head in frame, screaming in pain when the alien burst out. Awesome stuff. And then we see some familiar faces in this movie. Both of them from the Final Destination franchise. We got Evan, you lucky fuck! The guy who gets the ladder right through his eye. The guy who wins the lottery and spends money on all this materialistic shit except for a new apartment, which he clearly needed. And then there's the chick from Final Destination 3 who dies on the roller coaster, so she doesn't have a big role in that film. But when I saw her, I recognized her. I had to look her up. So yeah, familiar faces. That's always fun. And I didn't recognize anybody else. And then they go into the sewers, and the aliens kill these sewer hobos. And I like how this one cop went down there to arrest the hobo. Like, he's like, that's it, I'm taking you downtown. And then the dog comes with a limb, and he doesn't automatically, like, suspect maybe the hobo killed somebody. And he's just like, all right, fuck it, I'm leaving. You can stay here in the sewers with this dog who has a limb that belongs to somebody. It's like, no, take him down for questioning. You were going to take him down to the station anyways. Now there's a fucking limb there that his dog just fetched, and you're not going to take him down there for questioning? Bullshit. Bad police work right there. And then this little girl in the movie, they make her a complete fucking brat, and I don't know why. Like, they make her a brat in a weird way where I don't know if that was their intention. You know, like, her mom just got back from like a 3-year tour. She's been gone for a while. And then what does the little girl do? Acts like a little bitch. Mom's trying to read her a goodnight story. She's like, I want Dad to read it. It's like, fuck you. I was actually mad. I yelling at the screen, like, show her some goddamn respect, you unpatriotic piece of shit. Your mom fought for your country. And she's like, I want Dad to read it. And then like, it revealed, like, oh, honey, she misses you. Don't let that get to you. She told me how much she misses you. It's like, well, why won't she fucking tell him? I know, it's dumb to, I don't know why I'm bringing it up, but it just pissed me off. It's like, why would an 8-year-old girl act like she's so tough and she doesn't want to show like that type of emotion? Like, she's like a badass. Like, I can't show any weakness and be like, I miss you, mommy. No, that's for weak pussies. I'm not gonna do that. She's 8. Just say you fucking miss her. Quit being a bitch. I hate that kid. I wanted her to die. Like, later on when the monster goes through the window to kill the dad, I wanted to kill the little girl. Like, fuck that girl. And then the Predator, the mask they wear, apparently has like recordings of everything they see because coincidence. It's convenient to the plot now that these masks have different powers and abilities. And what else happens? Evan, you lucky fuck. Evan, he's a douchebag. That's not his name in this movie. That's his name in Final Destination 2. But still a dipshit in this movie. He looks younger, and this is like 3 years after Final Destination 2, and he looks younger for some reason. And then this girl, like, seriously, like, the characters are so poorly written in this movie. You don't give a fuck about any of them. They're so weird. Like, we got this main guy who's, like, anti-hat, and I'm pro-hat, obviously. And he's a pizza delivery driver. He goes to his, like, ex-girlfriend's house, and she's dating Evan, who is clearly a prick. And she's one of those girls that, like, wants to date the bad boy, but then she realizes, like, oh, he's too much of a bad boy. I'm going to dump him for my ex-boyfriend, who was the good boy. We've seen that before. It's stupid. I don't know. I don't get women who go for the bad boy, and then, like, they realize when it's too late that, like, oh, they're too bad, and now they're beating me up. I should have seen it coming. Yeah, you should have, dipshit. Why don't more women just go for the good guys? They might be uglier, but they won't kick your ass, all right? Quit dating Evan. So stupid. And then you had the Final Destination 3 girl. She's a waitress, and her character, why the fuck is she even focused on 1 minute? Why are they showing her character at all? Like, I think her boyfriend was a cop that got killed in the forest, and then they're like showing her at the cafe later on that she works at, and then she's talking to the chef, and then he's like, see you tomorrow, and I'm just like laughing like, no you won't, because then they both get killed immediately they get killed off camera for some reason. Those are the two off camera kills, and it makes no sense because everything before and after is on camera, so why is that off? Stupid. And yeah, and we don't like see their bodies later on. Nobody discovers their bodies. It has no impact at all. It's just body count, I guess. Cannon fodder. And this guy, Evan, the dick, he throws the guy's car keys in the sewers, so then the brother and Jack Reacher, they go into the sewers later on, because that's where the aliens are. Because they killed the hobos. Convenience. Alright. And then there's like a scare set up in there, but then nothing really happens. And then there's that awesome Predator and alien fight down there. He has like this device that makes like this laser grid thing where if you go through it, it chops you into a bunch of pieces. Awesome stuff. So yeah, I like that this movie was good at like sprinkling out like Alien versus Predator action like throughout. You know, just like here, there, and there. Good job. Keep the audience interested. Keep the pace of the movie at a decent pace, unlike the first one. And yeah, we see the cop. He's fucking skinned alive. He's hanging from the tree. Call back to the first couple of Predator movies. Awesome stuff. Unlike Alien vs. Predator, where there was like 6 completely clothed bodies hanging from... Like, that's not what they do. Stupid. And then, yeah, the whole girl leaving the bad boy for the good boy. The relationship. I don't give a fuck. It's just so stupid. And then how did Evan and his friends know that they were going to break into the swimming pool area of their high school? They just show up immediately, like, who tipped them off? And he brought all his friends with him, like, hey, I'm going to go kick my ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend's ass. You want to join me? And they're just going to join his posse. What a bunch of pieces of shits with nothing else better to do. They all deserve to die, and they die very awesomely. I think one of them gets like a tentacle right through the fucking back of the head, out his eyeball. Other one gets dragged off camera, but a bunch of blood splats everywhere. Evan, later on, he gets... the alien gets killed on top of him. All the blood like drips on his face, and all the acid is like melting his face away. Awesome stuff. If only a ladder came through the ceiling and just smashed his fucking face open, like in Final Destination 2, that would have been hilarious. Just like a random ladder just came down and like ripped his eyeball out. Or if the alien was above him and got like shot, and then he's like he has like that sigh of relief moment, like, whew, it's dead. Jesus Christ, and like that line he says, and then all the acid just comes pouring on his face. That would have been funny. If they had seen Final Destination 2 and they had my sense of humor, they would do that, but they didn't. Fuckers. And then, yeah, they go to the power grid. There's Bucky from Halloween 4. They cut the power grid to the whole town because this movie needs to get darker. And then, yeah, the hot babe in the bikini doesn't show her tits. What a bitch. And then, yeah, the X shows off. The movie gets darker. This is when the dad gets killed, and I want the fucking daughter to get killed because she's a little shit. They run off to the cemetery to go hide. I guess there was a cemetery nearby. And then the groundskeeper there, he shows up, and he's being all loud, and like, you know, you guys are like gonna give away my hiding spot, and he gets his head blown right the fuck off. All in one shot. It's amazing the way it looks. It's great. Clean off. And if only the little girl got her head blown off. And then I wrote right here, aliens sound like Glenn at End of Bride of Chucky. Then the cemetery guy dies. And then the National Guard shows up, and they're taken out in a minute. Like, they show up, and they're just... did they know what they were up against at that point? The only thing that was happening was the power grid went out. So, I don't know. Maybe they knew, but they got taken out easily. And I find it weird, like, by the end of this movie, it seems like the bullets from regular guns do have a good effect on these aliens. They can kill the aliens with pistols and whatnot, but it didn't matter for the National Guard. They had a hard time killing. It's like the government gave up so quickly, because we find out, and it's pretty obvious the first time you see that in general on the walkie-talkie CB radio, like, you know, help's coming in about 20 minutes. It's like, no, they're not. A nuke's coming. So, yeah, they're taking the Return of the Living Dead plot and putting it in this movie. So, the National Guard sends one wave in, taken out in 5 minutes, and they just give up. Like, well, that didn't work, so let's just nuke the whole fucking city, and hopefully the media won't start asking questions. It's 2007. Nobody has an iPhone yet. It's like, no, people will fucking find out that the U.S. government blew up a town when it could have easily just fucking used weapons, because they clearly work. It's just dumb. They just gave up immediately. It was just hilarious. And I love that that's the end of this movie. They just blow up the whole city. And that one chick, she drops this line like, what? That's crazy. The government never lies to us. completely sincere. And I just cracked up at that line. I loved it. And then at the end, like when the bomb's about to drop and she's looking at it, she kind of has this like moment of realization, like, oh yeah, I guess the government does lie to us. I wish she would have said that out loud. I would have said go out and buy this movie if she said that. If as the bomb was like dropping right in front of her face, she just said in slow mo, like, I guess the government does lie. And what else happens? I kind of just jumped all the way to the end, skipped a bunch of shit. Let me backtrack here. So yeah, National Guard, they get kicked out, and then the convenience of everybody like meeting up at the same store, gun store, so I guess it makes sense. But they all just converge together. All the characters we've been following throughout the film, they all meet up towards the end at the gun store. They insert these two random ass characters out of nowhere to get picked off like that. Both their heads get shot right the fuck off. Great stuff. And that was the only thing I remembered about this movie. And I think that's when I puked. As a 12-year-old watching this movie, I saw two people get their heads blown off, and I just started like, bleh! Then I had to leave. I love the pizza guy from way earlier in the movie. He shows up towards the end like, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. Wear your hat. They're like, all right, we need to protect this girl. She's the only one that knows how to fly a helicopter, so we're going to protect her. And he's like, fuck that, this ain't Titanic. It's like, we can both fit on the raft. And that is a stupid ending to that movie. I'll say that. I think that they both could have floated on that raft easily. I mean, come on. But that's a Titanic reference because the directors of this were effects artists who worked on Titanic. So I get it. A little wink and nod. But the alien breaks into this hospital, goes up to a pregnant woman whose water just broke, sticks his mouth tongue thing right down her fucking throat, and we see like egg after egg going down her gullet, just like all these eggs going down there. And then later on we see like their stomach, this big old pregnant stomach rip open, and multiple aliens are just shooting out of it. It is gnarly. It is awesome. And then like the whole hospital, the walls, it's like the aliens were doing their own like home decorating with the walls, making it look like home. Interesting set design. And it's just, I love that this movie goes for it. I love that they just were like, we're going to kill pregnant people. We're going to stuff eggs down a pregnant woman's throat who just had her water broke. We're going to kill that baby. We're going to kill this room of babies over here. We're going to kill this fucking child at the end in front of his dad. We're not going to give a shit. So, awesome stuff. Yeah, what is this, Titanic? And then this moment came out of absolutely nowhere and it blew my socks off. I was like, wait, that character just died like that out of nowhere? What the fuck? So they're like going down this hall and the Predator's on this hall, so it's like perpendicular, you know? So they're going down here and the Predator's all the way down here. He throws a boomerang, like a ninja star. That's how I'll describe it, because it comes back to him, usually, unless it hits Jesse. Throws it all the way down, kills an alien, and then Jesse just happens to be at the wrong place at the right time, or wrong time, whatever, gets hit with that fucking giant-ass boomerang ninja star, gets pinned to the wall, and all the acid blood from the alien that just got killed from it is now inside her guts, and her lower half just melts off. And you hear, like, the sound design, just her guts spilling on the floor, her lower half just hitting the ground, and then there's the shot of the aftermath, and you just see her upper half pinned up against the wall underneath that giant ninja star. Awesome. That was a jaw-dropping moment. Like, wait, they just killed that character off like that? Like, just no build up to it. It just happened so quick. Out of nowhere, it just took me back. I was like, wait, what? Jesse? Holy shit. And then the main guy gets all pissed off. He tries to have like that revenge moment, like, I'm gonna get you, motherfuckers. And then he just has that like 2-second revenge moment, and then like it's over. He doesn't get actual revenge on the Predator. And I'm not buying his rage at all, because again, character development and the way they're written, you don't give a shit, so it doesn't really do anything. Like, oh, Jesse died? Huh. I thought she was a main character. I thought she might have served a purpose, but I guess not. She's killed off. She means nothing. And then I love that the Predator takes that tongue thing out of the alien's mouth and just rips it off. Love it, because I just wanted to see that for so long. It's like they keep using that fucking power of theirs. You think that the Predators might catch on to it and fucking maneuver and just get the tongue, rip it right out, and finally it happens. I love that. And Yeah, and then there's the alien predator battle on the hospital rooftop. They fly away, bomb drops, blows up city, and then there's a sequel hinted ending. And I don't get it. I don't know. But here's another dumb thing about this movie. Their reaction to the government blowing up their hometown is not angry enough. Like when they land and somehow the army just knew where their plane was going to crash. I don't know how long they've been there, but it looks like they just crashed. They walk 5 feet from the helicopter, and there's already a whole squad of like National Guardsmen surrounding them. Like, put your hands up, put the weapon down. And he's like, you motherfuckers just blew up the city. And they're like, we had to. It was an order. And then they just drop it. It's like, oh, okay, you were ordered to blow up all my friends and family and everybody I knew at that town. Because they set up pretty decently in the beginning. Like, it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody there. Like, oh, Earl goes out to the woods with his son. It's like, they know everybody there, and everybody is now fucking dead because of the government, and they're just going to drop it. Like, oh, it was an order? Okay, I guess I understand. It's like, no. They are not livid enough. Like, that's bullshit. I think it would have made more sense if they just shot them all down. This would have been a more grim ending if they all just got mowed down and they shot that 8-year-old kid in the fucking face who deserved it. Maybe if a ladder came out of the sky and like took her eye out. I don't know. Yeah, kind of a grim ending. Definitely, the whole city getting blown up. You don't see that enough. Like Return of the Living Dead, awesome. If you haven't seen Return of the Living Dead, you gotta check that out. Great zombie movie. CB wrote, send more brains. The zombies actually talk in that movie. So yeah, that's enough rambling about Alien vs. Predator. If I had to give a Mr. Twig a hat award, I would say that Jesse was the best kill, getting that ninja star and falling in half. It was definitely some shock value there in that kill, and just a great fucking moment. I loved it. And the Mr. Twig award would go to the Final Destination 3 waitress who gets killed off camera. That's fucking lame. So yeah, that's the end of Alien vs. Predator 2. There will never be a third one. There was supposed to be one, but this movie didn't make enough money, so they canceled it. I'm going to go watch The Initiation now. Just got this 1984 classic with Vera Mills in it. And Daphne Sanuge from One Tree Hill, however you say that name. So I'm going to go check that out. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.